Good morning. And guess what? Nobody cares. So, don't mind the noise in the background. It's just my cat trying to eat her way through the door. I don't know why. So, I don't really expect anybody to really view these videos. This is more for a video testimonial for a journey that I am starting. No, this is not a new year, new me thing, even though it is January of 2026. In fact, it is specifically January 13th, 2026. It is a Tuesday morning, and it is way too early in the morning. So I just wanted to do some documenting here and be able to look back at a later point. And yeah, if other people want to join me on this journey, that's fine. But long story short, there's a lot of things going on for me right now. I just got myself a new vehicle. I just got a promotion. I'm getting ready to start on some dental work that I need to get done, or at least getting that priced out and financed and seeing what we can do. Plan of action. I've got some broken teeth, some, bad spots there. But more importantly, after a 4-month hiatus due to fair and traveling for work, I am finally back in the gym. Yay! And I have decided to try once again to do the weight loss shots. Previously, a little over a year ago, I had done the compound semaglutide, and either I'm one of the people that semaglutide just doesn't work for, or the compounding pharmacy I went through was absolute fucking garbage, because not only did it give me very uncomfortable side effects that lasted for the entirety of the time that I was on the medication, as well as a little bit after, it did nothing for me. Now, back then I wasn't going to the gym, so that didn't help, but I was adjusting my eating and everything, and there was other stuff going on, so I didn't see any results, and I did it for about 5 months, so I stopped. Why spend my money on it? Well, I am now going to try tirzepatide. In fact, yesterday was my first shot. And I have a video of that as well, but I probably won't be posting that on here. I may post other shots. I may do video testimonials doing other shots at later points with trigger warnings for needles, because we don't want anybody getting upset or, falling out. Sorry, I've got a little bit of a runny nose still after a cold that I started off the new year with. Yay! But long story short, I stepped on the scale last week and was weighing 238.6 pounds. In fact, let me give you a good look at my back rolls, my gut. These pants are nice. They kind of pull it in a little bit, but overall, I'm not happy with how I look. I'm not happy with my weight. Even when I was pregnant with my son, I think I got up to 240 pounds. The last month of my pregnancy, I was 210 before I got pregnant. And a week after giving birth to him, I was back down to 209. So the fact that I'm almost up to my pregnancy weight is really, really disturbing. I do struggle with some bad eating habits. I really, really love sweets. I have a really bad sugar tooth, and I'm working on that. I'm also adding in meal replacement shakes, not necessarily every day because they get expensive and I do have other things I got to take care of, but some higher protein snacks, because I'm not a big snacker to begin with, and I already struggle with appetite regulation. I'm very much the type of person that will realize they're hungry and say, okay, well, I'm still working on something, so give me 20 minutes, and then completely ignore any hunger cues. Just, pound back water or something. And I don't drink a lot of soda. In fact, I very rarely drink soda. In fact, even when I go out to eat, if I get anything, it's usually a sweet tea, and then I just drink a lot of water with it. So it's not so easy as just remove sodas and just remove this, because there's nothing really truly consistent. I do have to drive into my office 3 days a week now. Unfortunately, I no longer get to work completely remotely. Boo, stupid company. But that doesn't help, because that means when it's lunchtime, I don't just walk to the fridge and grab an adult protein Lunchable and eat it. So sometimes I do leave for lunch, or sometimes I grab food on the way home if I'm going to be later than usual. So it does open up the door for more unhealthy eating habits with getting fast food. I do try to stick to sandwiches if I'm going to do it, like Jason's Deli, so it's not fried fast food and French fries and greasy stuff, but we all make mistakes. In fact, I have a gym that I go to not too far from where I work, because I work over an hour away from where I live. But the gym I go to is nationwide. In fact, I think it's worldwide. But so I'm able to go do that a couple days after work if I don't have to be home to get my kid for some reason, which is nice. So I have that opportunity, and I'm getting back into it. So mixing the trizepatide with getting back in the gym and trying to be more conscious of what I'm eating and the amount of protein I'm intaking, I'm really hoping that I will start seeing some results within the first 30 days. I don't necessarily expect to see drastic results, but this is just my journey on how I hope to work for a more comfortable life, to be able to look better in some of the clothes that I have, to drop down to under 200 pounds again. The last time I was that light was back in 2019, and I did it in a very unhealthy way. I did a very calorie restrictive diet and sugar restrictive and everything. And the problem is there is a difference between calorie restricting and calorie starving, and I did not do it the correct way. I basically drank about 1.5 gallons of water a day and had myself restricted down to 1,000 calories per day, which, as you know, is not sustainable. You do get to a point where you reach a plateau where your body goes into survival mode, and it will start retaining everything. And so I experienced a few months of being down to about 169 and immediately plateaued and started going back up because my body was at the point where it needed to start banking calories, because I thought I was starving, because I was. And I can't do that again. I've got a kid, I've got a job, I've got everything, and I need the energy, so I just cannot do that again. It's one thing to do a calorie restrictive diet to get yourself restarted on eating better and being comfortable with a certain level of intake and understanding portion control, but do not do a calorie starvation diet. It doesn't work. It's not going to last. But I'm hoping that with some changes in my life, with making sure I'm diligent about doing the gym 3 days a week, there for a minimum of an hour, I have a specific plan of action with what machines I use and what exercises and what weights, and I keep track of everything. I am keeping my weight loss journal as well as my fitness journal, and I've definitely seen some toning up because of my gym. Even though I don't feel like it's doing anything, I can tell that it's doing anything. My partners can tell that it's doing stuff. They can feel the difference when they hug me or they hold me. I am not focused specifically on the numbers on the scale. I am focused on my my measurements. So I want to make sure that this and this and this is where I'm seeing the results that I need. So I know that muscle is heavier than fat, but at the same time, the fat's going to start going away with everything that I'm doing, and that's what I'm really hoping for. So if you want to do this journey with me, feel free to add any comments or tips. If you are currently on this journey, feel free to leave comments or anything like that. And if I see that there are messages on here, I will definitely try to respond. If you're struggling, reach out. Maybe not to me, but to anybody. There's plenty of people out there that can help support. And I've done a few different journeys that haven't worked, and I'm really hoping for better things with this one. And so if you want to be my weight loss and fitness buddy, please feel free to do so. I'd love to have you on the team. And that's it for today. So again, it's January 13th, 2026, about 6:30 in the morning, because God, my life sucks sometimes. But I love everybody. And if you sat here and watched the entire 10 minutes of all of this BS of me talking, thank you so much. And maybe you'll see the next one.